Most serial killers want credit. Israel Keyes wanted silence. He didn't want fame. He didn't want headlines. And that's exactly what made him one of the most terrifying killers America has ever known. Israel Keyes looked like the kind of man you'd never remember. He was a veteran, a construction worker, a boyfriend, a guy who paid his bills and blended in. But hidden beneath that ordinary exterior was a predator who spent years preparing for murder like it was a long-term project. Keyes didn't kill impulsively. He planned, sometimes years in advance. He traveled across the country, bearing what he called kill kits in random locations. Buckets filled with weapons, rope, tape, and tools meant for one purpose. He'd stash them in forests, parks, or near highways, then leave them untouched for months or even years, waiting for the right moment. That meant when he finally decided to kill, he didn't need to bring anything with him. No suspicious luggage, no obvious trail. Everything was already waiting, and that was just the beginning. Keyes believed most serial killers were sloppy. He studied their mistakes obsessively. He avoided patterns, never targeted the same type of victim twice, and never killed in the same area back to back. He chose victims at random, people whose disappearances wouldn't immediately connect. Sometimes he flew to one state, rented a car, then drove hundreds of miles to kill in a completely different place. He said it made him feel free. For years it worked. Victims vanished with no witnesses, no clear suspects, and no obvious motive. Families were left with nothing. No answers, no closure, just the hollow uncertainty of not knowing what happened. Then in 2012, everything unraveled. 18-year-old Samantha Koenig disappeared from the coffee stand where she worked in Anchorage, Alaska. Surveillance cameras captured a masked man forcing her into his truck at gunpoint. It was a rare mistake, and it was the crack investigators needed. That masked man was Israel Keyes. What followed was one of the most disturbing confessions the FBI had ever recorded. Once in custody, Keyes spoke calmly, almost casually about his crimes. He admitted to multiple murders across the United States. He hinted at more, many more, without giving full details. He described traveling long distances just to kill someone he'd never met. He talked about the control, the planning, and the feeling of power. But Keyes never gave investigators everything. He played games. He negotiated. He withheld names and locations, knowing that every secret he kept denied families the truth. Even in custody, he controlled the narrative. And then, before investigators could extract the full scope of his crimes, Israel Keyes took his own life in his jail cell. He left behind a final act of cruelty, answers forever locked away. To this day, no one knows how many people Israel Keyes killed. The FBI estimates at least 11, but many believe the number is far higher. There are missing persons cases scattered across the country that may never be solved, because the man responsible ensured the evidence died with him. Israel Keyes wasn't the loudest killer. He wasn't the most famous. But he may have been one of the most methodical and calculated predators in modern American history. And that's the most unsettling part. He proved that evil doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it plans quietly, waits patiently, and disappears without a trace, leaving behind nothing but questions.